Welcome to the first tutorial in the series Python Made Easy for Beginners. The goal of this tutorial is to present Python in a way that is easy to understand. My goal is to demystify Python so that at the end of this tutorial, should you decide to pick up one of those 500-page books, you'll be able to understand what they are saying. Python is one of the most popular programming languages. I think that its popularity is derived from the fact that it is relatively easy to learn. It has a clean syntax. The syntax is very easy to understand compared to other languages. Python is also popular because it is used for many things. It is a general purpose programming language, a high-level programming language. Python is used in machine learning and artificial intelligence. Python is also used in web development. Using frameworks like Django, Flask, and others. Python is also used in math and science. There are many frameworks that can be used in mathematics and the scientific field. Python is also used for developing desktop applications. And mobile apps as well. It's also used in network administration. It has quite a number of uses. It can also be used in game development, although a game developed using Python will not be as fast as one developed using C++, but it's one of the uses of Python. Alright, how do you write programs in Python? To write programs in Python, you have to install the Python software. You also need to have requirements for writing programs in Python. You will need the Python software. Obviously, you need to install this on your computer. When you install that, you will get an integrated development environment, which is called IDLE. Okay. So to start writing programs in Python, you can go to python.org. This is the website for Python. The documentations and other things, they're a very important website. So go to python.org, which I've already opened, python.org, and then you will now click downloads. You will see, depending on your operating system, this one is for Windows. They have it for Mac OS X. There's Python for Linux, although most Linux distributions, if not all of them, already have Python installed. It may not be the latest version. So just click here, download it to your computer. After downloading it, just run the application. Just run it, and then I've already installed Python on my computer, so I'm not going to reinstall it, but the installation is self-explanatory. So just click, this is Python 3.77, There's Python 2, but you shouldn't be using that. Okay, so just click and I've installed it, that's why it's giving me these options. So while installing Python, make sure you check the option for add path. Okay, and then follow the simple instructions for installation. Now after installing Python, you will have an IDEO, integrated development environment, such as this one. Okay, so this is an interactive shell, and it comes with Python. It allows you to type a statement and get a response immediately. For example, you can type something like to give you the answer right away. The Python shell, you can type, you are using it as a calculator, it gives you an answer. For division, 5 divided by 2, so it gives you 2.5. But then if you have 2 double slashes divided by 2, it gives you 2. So this is integer division. We call this floor division. It throws away the decimal part and it gives you that. Also 3 for multiplication asterisk, so you get 9. Now, but if you want to raise a number to a power, you have this exponent, so you get 27. That's 3 into 3 places, so you have that. Okay, so that's using Python as a calculator. Now so all these things, these are called expressions. You have 2 operands and an operator, okay, that is evaluated to one value. That's the definition of an expression. All right, so you can also, is the tradition to start a tutorial on programming by writing a program that displays hello world. So we'll follow that tradition, even though I don't know why that is always used by most instructors. So you write something like print. I will explain what this is doing. Okay. So print is a function. A function is just a group of statements that carry out a certain function. It is used for breaking our code into smaller units. Okay, so this is a built-in function. You don't have to bother about yourself how how it was designed, but you can create your own functions, and we'll discuss that in subsequent tutorials. If you run this program, it displays hello world. Now this is a string, which is a collection of characters. A string must be enclosed in quotation mark. You can use single quotation mark or double quotation mark. So when you run the program, it simply displays hello world. Okay, so that's how to use the interactive shell. While this is fun, it has a lot of limitations. If you want to actually write a program, you have to click File, select New, and you can now write your programs here. Okay, for example, assuming you want to write let's say num1, Okay, 2. Okay, all right. Now this is num is num1 is a variable, num2 is a variable, sum is a variable. A variable is simply a named space in a computer's memory for holding values. All right, so the is comparable to a box that is labeled num1. Now, which is the variable name. At any given point it can hold 4 or 8 or 10, okay, but the name of the container remains num1. So when you want to refer to the value, you use the name, the variable name, or the identifier. Okay, so that's a variable, but we'll get back to, in subsequent tutorials we'll talk about variable. Okay, so here you have print. The print will take I want to print display sum. Okay, so this is, so to run, if you click run now, run module, you have to save this program first. That's why this is better than the interactive shell. So it will prompt you to save the program so that you can run it some other time. So so I'll just give it a name and then say save, and then it will run the program. Look at it here, it gives me the answer here as 8. Okay, let's see. So when you sorry, let me execute that again. Okay, let me run the program again. Sorry, okay, sorry, the answer is correct. I made a mistake. Num2, that's this variable. Okay, so run the program again, and should give us the correct answer now, which is 12. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, now this is an integer variable, a whole number. Okay, but in subsequent tutorials I'll talk about variables. Okay, now if you want to create another program, just click file and new. All right, you can also create another program, name. Okay, and then okay, so I'm using, all right, so name, a variable called name. Okay, whenever you use this input function, whatever is entered is a string, so you can now say print All right. Okay, that's a very simple program. So this allows a user to enter a name, and then after entering a name you can run the program. Let's run the program and see what it does. So we'll save the program. So look at it. It's prompting what is your name. Okay, so after I type the name, it brings out hello David. Okay, very simple program. All right, now the function of this /n is to make sure that your input comes after the instruction, after the line. Look at it here. Without that /n, my input would have appeared here, but with that it allows me to go to the next line to enter my name. Okay, so this has been an introduction to Python. Although I prefer using PyCharm, PyCharm, something like the PyCharm. So, but if you like IDE, you can use it. But in subsequent tutorials, I'll be using PyCharm. But this is also a good IDE for programming in Python. If you want to, see how PyCharm works, you can just Google it and install it. Okay. This is it for today. Till next tutorial.